Hey folks, Jason with Hamblin Ranch. So I am out here at my works office building, and I just wanted to I felt compelled to do a follow-up video to the last one we did, entitled From City to Homestead. You know, we create plans and we get things, and we have these visions in our head, or these ideas in our head, and sometimes they don't always work out right. Hi folks, in this video I'm going to give you 5 things you can do today, and we're going from this to this. So to that end, I decided I think it's time to make another video, but this time we're going to do it a little bit differently because that sun is pretty bright, because I don't know, I just didn't like the way that one came off. I felt like it just wasn't me. So here we go. So 10 years ago, Jen and I decided that we wanted to live off grid. We were going to homestead. We were raising our family in the outskirts of Chicago, and we both had very good jobs. Kids were all in school, still had kids at home, and we decided that at some point when our youngest was going to graduate high school, that would be the time that we wanted to do this, if we were going to do it at all. So this is Tasunka. Yes, hi Tasunka, say hi. We are just hanging out at my company, just kind of taking in the views this morning. There's the Caterpillar that closed down about a month ago. That was a shame. So the first thing we did is we made the decision that we wanted to do this. We set it in our minds that this is what we were going to do. We were going to dedicate the next 10 years to not only raising the kids and living our lives normally, but also planning to retire and go off grid. So what we didn't know was the amount of work it was going to take to do that. And that's really, what we found was that it was a lot of work. No doubt about that. The first thing that we did was figure out where we wanted to go, what we wanted in a homestead. We also wanted to figure out what a homestead meant. We started thinking about being on the grid, off the grid, how close to neighbors we wanted, what kind of water we wanted on the property. We wanted to find out, or we wanted to figure out if we wanted to be able to hunt on the property. As a matter of fact, originally I had figured we would just get a small plot of land and get it up next to a federal reserve, or out in Montana near the I think it's called the BLM. I'm not really sure what it's called, and then we would just get a small tract of land so it wouldn't cost us a fortune, and just go hunting and collect our wood on the federal property. But we found out later that that's probably the best idea. So then we figured, well, how much land do we want, and how did we want to did we want to be completely off grid and use solar, and how did we want to get our water, things like that. So those questions started giving us a good picture of what we wanted in our homestead. So I am again standing out here in front of my work. Cat and a big field over here. I like coming out here, taking the dog out here. He just sniffs everything. All right, so the next thing that we needed to do was figure out how we were going to pay for all of this, and figure out what it was going to cost. I started, watching TV shows doing a ton of research online, watching a ton of YouTube videos. I love when he does that. Just started a kind of a plan, a spreadsheet, a bunch of tabs, and started researching, stuff that we could start preparing for in terms of purchasing, land, solar systems, water systems. It was quite extensive for sure. But what it did is eventually gave us a picture of what we really wanted to do, and we were able to associate some costs with that as well, and start budgeting. The budgeting was the big part, and that was really tough for us. We got to remember we still had our kids, and they're still in school, and we started putting a little bit of money away here and there. We started paying off our debt. We had some credit cards that we paid off our vehicles, started putting money away into savings, doing a little bit of investing here and there. At one point we decided that we wanted to get a new truck because we knew that we weren't going to have jobs when we did this. So we went out and bought a new truck, which is the truck I have now. We got the lifetime warranty on that, because we didn't think we would ever want another truck after that. So unfortunately that hasn't worked out, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. The other thing we started doing after that is we started looking at land prices, started putting together a picture of where we wanted to live, and we wanted to go to Montana. That was the original goal, was to go to Montana. But we found out real quick that we weren't going to be able to afford it. At least not on our salaries, and not with where we were going to be at after we moved out there, because we didn't know. We made a decision early on that we wanted to make sure that when we moved, our property was paid off, totally paid off, because we didn't want to have a mortgage. And so Montana was out of the question. The next thing we had to do is we went ahead and started looking around the country, and we found that Maine had it all. Maine had everything we wanted. So we jumped on landwatch.com and a couple of other sites, and we put in our criteria, and we searched for properties. That process probably took about a year or so. And then one day I logged in, and sure enough, the property we're at now popped up. And as soon as I saw it, I'm telling you, I fell in love with it. I just knew it. I just knew it in my heart that was the property we were going to end up at. And a couple weeks later, Jen and I were on an airplane, and we went out to the property. We met the realtor, hiked in about a mile, blazing a trail in about close to 2 feet of snow, got to the property, and that was the end of it. We knew it. We walked out of there, got back to our vehicles. I turned to Jen. I said, Jen, that's the property, and as soon as we get home, we're going to make an offer. Being Jen, she's like, slow down a little bit. Let's make sure we think about this, and we did. And when we got home, we made the offer. The offer got accepted, went through all the paperwork, and we became proud owners of the property we're at now. So very, very happy about that. So I just realized I've been staring at myself instead of staring at the little camera. So I think you're going to kind of get two views of my eyes. Sorry about that. We're still figuring this whole camera thing out and filming. We want to document this, and if you look at our YouTube channel right now, we've got some what we think is some pretty good content. In other cases, just some snippets and so forth. But promise you, we are getting better. We are studying up on this. We are learning from the mistakes that we're making, and we'll get there. We'll get there. So it's really hard for us right now, though, because we kind of, we're in this transition. Closing date on our house is in a few weeks. Then we head out to Maine permanently in about 6 weeks from now. So that's when the real fun's going to start. So, anyways, so let's see, where were we? So we purchased our property, and we had a plan that we were going to pay it off in a couple of years, and sure enough, we did, which was pretty awesome. The next step was what kind of gear, what kind of supplies and raw materials and things like that were we going to start collecting and purchasing on the cheap. And when I say on the cheap, I mean we went to the Habitat for Humanity Restore, we went to Goodwill, garage sales, estate sales. We had some family and folks just give us stuff and donate stuff to us, which was freaking awesome. But that was really the big next push for us. All right, so what exactly have we been packing away in our trailers? Well, if you've seen some of our previous videos, you'll know that a lot of the stuff we brought were like fridge. Oh my gosh, I mean the list is huge of the stuff that we've collected. But again, the stuff that we've gotten in the prior videos that we've shown, I won't really go through that because you can just check out the other videos. More recently, we've looked at collecting nuts and bolts, thousands and thousands of nuts and bolts, nails, screws, just, my God, tools, just hundreds of tools. Anything we found at like the Restore or garage sales, estate sales, anything that we thought would be useful, we picked up. And to be frankly honest with you, I don't think we bought anything at full price. Everything we've bought has been at a discounted price in one way or another. But there are some critical things that we did, like for instance medical. I created a huge list. Well, I went online, I found some lists of critical items that everybody should have in their medical kit, and so I made that list very similar to that, and bought a bunch of stuff for that. Let's see, sewing. So we knew we would want to do a lot of sewing, so we went out and bought a bunch of sewing equipment. Still need to find a sewing machine, but we'll get there. We'll get there one of these days. Let's see, what else? Okay, so some of the bigger things we got. We're getting our solar system, and we'll talk more about that another day. But we bought two freezers. Chest freezers. One we'll use as a freezer, one will convert as a refrigerator. We've got all of the Harbor Freight solar systems that we're using, or solar kits, and I'll be installing that on the workshop. And again, we'll do another video on that. We've got a hoop house that we picked up for $100 from a guy who was like, damn near giving it away. Tons of ball jars. Fix the dog's leash as he's rolling around again. Let's see. Yeah, so that's about it that I can think of off the top of my head. One of the things we're going to do is go on Patreon. We're going to put our actual spreadsheet that we used for this, and we're going to put that on Patreon, so you guys will have an opportunity to take a look and see what we actually did, and I'll put a video on there as well. In addition, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up on this video. Gotta love the sunken rolling around in the grass. looks like he is just having a gay old time. Alright, so let's see. So we bought our property. We started packing up stuff. We started buying gear and stuff to store. The next big thing for us was to get the house ready for sale, which we did, and we listed that. The house is sold. Our closing date is May 17th, so we are really looking forward to that. Funny thing about that is, our closing date is the 17th, but we aren't actually moving till June, so we had to figure out what we were going to do or where we were going to go for about 4 weeks. So we're going to be going to our in-laws, and we're really looking forward to that. And I mean that. I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun. Gotta love all those wires up there, huh? So yeah, so that's kind of where we are. I mean, our journey, to get to where we are today, it's been a little stressful, fun. It's forced us to think differently about just about everything we knew about living our lives. We're just very fortunate that Jen and I are in the position that we are in to give us the opportunity to do this. Every time we watch a show with homesteaders or watch a YouTube video where someone's living out our dream, it just really makes us feel that much more confident in us doing it. So, well, what do you think, Tasunka? All right, well, I really appreciate you folks checking out the video, and stay tuned because we've got a lot more coming. God bless you. Let's go. He's gonna take me back to work now. Tasunka comes to work with me to the office, and he is working hard. Yeah, he is working really, really hard.